I can still see some people are joining. තාම කට්ටිය join වෙන ගමන් ඉන්නේ, but අපි වැඩේ හිමීට පටන් ගමු. Thank you everyone for joining on Saturday evening. අපි දන්නවා Saturday evening හැමෝම fun එකේ chill එකේ ඉන්න වෙලාවක්, but අපි හිතුවා මේ අපි ඉස්සරහට කතා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන මේ program එක අපි ඒකට නමක් දුන්න IFAC කියලා, International Filmmaker Accelerator program. We thought of having a little chat with few colleagues who are going to do this program, because there were some questions and there seems a lot of people who are interested in filmmaking in Sri Lanka who would like to go outside Sri Lanka into the international stage. So we brought few people. We asked them, in fact, whether they can support this community, and we saw a lot of young people getting attracted to them, not just young, many people getting attracted to this subject. So we, as organization, I represent Trace. If you have not yet heard of Trace, Trace is a non-profit organization which is mainly targeting upbringing Sri Lankan culture of innovation. And one pillar of Trace is upbringing the skills, so improving the skills. Skills ලංකාව ඇතුළේ තියෙන skills කොයි විදිහටද improve කරන්න කියන එක කාරණයක් Trace කියන ආයතනයේ. ඒ හරහා අපි මීට අවුරුද්දකට විතර කලින් පටන් ගත්තා මේ ෆිල්ම් මේකින් කියන concept එක ලංකාව ඇතුළේ මේ තියෙන තැනට වඩා ඉහළට ගෙනියන්නේ කොහොමද කියන සාකච්ඡා. We had one session. අපි එක full day full දවස් දෙකක ලොකු program එකක් කරා. ඒකට සෑහෙන ප්‍රතිචාර අපිට හම්බුණා. ඒත් එක අපි දැක්කා there is a opportunity, ලොකු අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා, වගේම ලොකු ඉල්ලීමක් තිබුණා අපිට මේ ලංකාවෙන් එහාට international film industry එක ගැන කතා කරන්න ඕනේ මීට වඩා කියලා. ඒ එක්කම අපි හිතුවා අපි දවස් දෙකේ program කරන එක වෙනුවට ටිකක් කල් අරගෙන ටිකක් ලොකු වැඩක් කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. That's how this next program that we are going to talk came into the market. But there are people who does not know fully about the program. There are some people who have already registered to the program. So we wanted to keep it at a very generic level. This will not be a discussion about the program. Instead, we wanted to invite Harindu, Akash, and some of the other folks who are going to join in a bit to talk about international filmmaking in the Sri Lankan community. These are the people who have already done it. So again, thank you very much for everyone who has come. Thank you, Harindu. Thank you, Akash. I know you guys are really, really busy. And you have many, many other important things that you are doing. I heard there are interesting stuff going on. Probably you can talk and give little hints to us about those things also. But the whole objective from our side is that we want to improve skills, different types of skills in Sri Lankan community, and filmmaking is just one idea, and we have seen a good thrust on that. Probably I'll give Harindu and Akash opportunity to introduce themselves. Both of them doesn't need any introduction. They are in the international filmmaking business and in different communities in many, many ways, through short films, many films, feature films, and many other things. You may have even heard their names through media and different other teaching engagement that they're doing. But I would still like Harindu and Akash, if you could spend few minutes introducing yourself to the audience. Harindu, maybe first.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I think we have Rajiv also joining right now. So yeah. So my background into filmmaking came from producing. So I've been in producing for the past, I would say, past 3-4 years. I'm based in the UK. So I got into film through that, mainly through the UK market. So I did my masters in the UK in producing. I trained under the founding producers of BBC Films. Then went on to skill development in the UK. So worked a lot with new directors, new writers, new producers who wanted to get into filmmaking. So our whole process was getting these people, you know, giving them a platform to actually move forward in this large scale industry. Because unlike in Sri Lanka, when it comes to the UK and the US, the industry is massive. We are talking about what, uh, 300, 400, like over $500 million invested into production each year. You have bigger stars, bigger risks. So my initial start when I first got into the industry was from talent development, networking, international film business. So getting people used to the whole business side of film as well as the creative side. Yeah, so right now I have my own independent film studio, which is Rogue Element. We mainly function in the UK and the US markets, but from this year we are starting operations in Sri Lanka as well, and we have a debut film project lined up that will be going into production later this year. And yeah, so that's about me.
Akash?
Thanks, Telina. Thanks for doing this. Harindu, everybody. Hi. Akash here, guys. I've been making films for the last 10 years with a group called the High School Junkies, which was more of a short film project. You guys might not have seen some of our stuff up on YouTube. The short project that we did with High School Junkies was mostly, to experiment with various different genres and see what we could do over here in Sri Lanka. Not just drama, romance, historical fiction, but the other genres, the ones that are more commercially driven, and engaging throughout the international film industry, like action, horror, sci-fi. Those are the kinds of movies that I grew up with, and those are the kind of movies that I wanted to make. So in this 10-year journey with High School Junkies, I was introduced to Rajiv, who just popped in, hey man, and also Haru, who Harindu and I, we worked together on a short sci-fi project called Temporal back in 2021. And then Rajiv was on another project with me. He was on the set. We tried doing something and we badly mocked up our issues. But so we've had our fair share of successes as all, and our low points, high points, and low points. And having done this for 10 years, I feel like it's like the market in Sri Lanka is also ripe at a point where people have been exposed enough to the international film uh, scope, I guess, and there's substantial interest. So glad that Trace is taking this initiative to do something like this. And at the same time, I'm about to shoot my first feature called Snowbirds, which will be rolling cameras sometime later next month. And we got another couple of projects lined up as well. We'll talk about that, obviously. And I've been doing this film podcast called Junkyard Theory since the pandemic, where I've been bringing on board multiple people from the international film industry. Had 80, close upon 90 guests so far. So yeah, and throughout those last 10 years, I did my master's in film at the Raindance Film Institute. I oscillate between the States and Sri Lanka. Accumulated quite a few connections. So happy to share the knowledge that I've gotten in those last 10 years. Rajiv, over to you, man.
Hi, thanks. Sorry, literally just been a day. What is there like a prompt or a question I'm supposed to ask?
Just introducing ourselves, Joan.
Or just an intro? Okay. Hi,
Yeah,
guys.
just an intro.
Thanks everyone to join. You might hear some like background noises is because the internet is best in this dining area, so I've just planted myself here. So ignore all that. But yeah, wanting to do film ever since I was a little kid. So that's kind of been the goal and the dream. And that journey kind of led to film school being the kind of best avenue to kind of get into it and learn, etc. Hollywood being the dream, I think obviously growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, that was kind of the only avenue you kind of knew of. So very fortunate that my dad went to college in the US, so there was some sort of connection to the US in general. So when it was time to decide schooling, parents got on board, very supportive, and I ended up doing film school in Missouri, which is a very odd place to do it, but still, it doesn't matter where you do it as long as you learn what you're learning. And I also was able to meet some really key people who are still in my life there as well. So that was super awesome. Came back, and the only kind of avenue at the time were these sort of creative content firms, so like Pulse and Yamo and Raw. So I got involved with Yamo and Yamo TV, and I was their first video producer. but it was still not giving me kind of the foundation of the background that I needed. So I kind of was looking to pursue other stuff, and that was when the idea, the advice and the idea to do my master's came up. Very long story short, got into two schools, UCLA and Chapman being one of them. And Chapman was kind of the one I connected with the most in terms of the program. It is currently the top fourth film school in the US. At the time, it was the top sixth. And the program is run by, Oscar nominees and former studio heads, et cetera, et cetera. So it felt like it was a really great kind of background and basis to kind of be able to start learning. And the program itself, another thing that was really great about it was very hands-on. So we leave with 3 films under our belt. So the producing stream is the direction I took, and was able to produce 3 short films, which went into a collection of close to 32 or 33 film festivals. My last one being my grad thesis, where I got to work with Brian George, which was also super awesome and taught me a lot also about handling celebrities and like of that status and like kind of how to work with them. Which then led me to wanting to do a year of work on my visa, because you'll have to do that with the US. And again, very long story short, my producing mentor introduced me to his friend, really close friend, who was an entertainment lawyer, who had 3 clients who were looking for assistants. One of them was Julius Anna, who was at the time directing the latest Captain America film that just came out. So interviewed against 36 or 37, I think roughly other people, and got the job. And that was my 2022 to 2024. After which, because of the presidential shift, policies changed and there was a huge situation there. So I had to come home, but also I was really looking forward to it. I think my trajectory in terms of career and passion had changed to wanting to come and do Sri Lankan stories and, tell our own and take it out there. That was kind of the new dream. So I came home still with the great connections and great backing and education, and started Mala Productions. And since then, I've done a play, because theater is a big part of my background as well, 2024. And then I just wrapped a short film called Good Boy, probably my most personal project to date. About to go into the festival route with that one. And then we're in development for 2 feature films next year, as well as 2 web series. And then, so funnily enough, I was going to tell Harinder and Akash about this at some point. Been in a couple of meetings, but there is the potential of an Sri Lankan American filmmaker who wants to do his indie feature film here, and might be involved in that to a certain capacity. So hopefully we'll be able to get other people on board and get some exposure that way. So very excited to also be doing this with Harindu and Akash. I've known them now for a good couple of years and worked with them. And a big goal for us is to be able to use the experience and the expertise that we have gained over the last 5 to 10 to 15 plus years, and as well as our educational background, and be able to provide a platform here. So very blessed. So
Brilliant. Thanks, Rajiv. Thanks, everybody. I think team who is joining here, we are basically inviting people who have already done it to run this. So they have done it, they have seen it, they have been with the people. So I have kind of a high-level question. Haridu, maybe you can lead it. I know, and most of us know that Sri Lanka had a film industry for a long time. We have it. But why are we now talking about international filmmaking in Sri Lanka? Is it the correct time to talk about it? And what's the basic background why we wanted to bring international filmmaking to Sri Lanka? Is it new? Has it been in discussion for a long time? Can you shed some light on this?
Well, internet, I think, we should have been talking about it. I think we haven't really been talking about it enough, because, this is a collaborative art, and, it doesn't mean every country just has to make films for their own, own people. It's a very collaborative art, and it's enjoyed, like, it doesn't matter which, like, language doesn't matter for film, to be honest, right? But for some reason in Sri Lanka, we've been making films for what, 80 plus years now, but we've really, like, hardly gotten ourselves onto that, global platform. I doubt we've ever had like a globally selling film ever. there were few international collaborations that we did with Oscar caliber actors coming into Sri Lanka to shoot films, but I don't think we've ever had a proper globally distributed film. And Sri Lanka as a country, we have so many stories that that can really work in that global market, global stage. And especially when when you look at the genres that are doing wonders these days, there are so many stories here that could benefit, like we could merge these stories with the type of stories that's working in the global market and really make an impact on the market itself, because most of the stories that we have, I don't think the Western world has seen before, or the emotions, the characters. It's going to be a whole new experience for them. So I think that has to be one of the main reasons that why we should be talking about it, and we should be focusing more on international collaborations rather than just trying to make it here.
I would agree, and Harinder pretty much summed it up. If I had to kind of add something to that, what I would say is during the pandemic, there was this, like in the recent past, this globalization of film happened quite rapidly because everybody was stuck indoors, unable to go outside, and the we as a community, as a film going audience, everybody was exposed to more films, like the catalog on Netflix. It was just not just American studio produced movies. Everybody was exposed to a lot more. And in 2019, I feel like Parasite kind of blew open the gates with that, winning Best Picture. And uh, the director said it very, very well. Like, if you can get past that 1 inch barrier of subtitles, you'll be exposed to like wonderful set of films in the international arena. And like Harindu said, there's a very, what do you call, there's a lot of films, like there's a lot of stories that we can tell which are very unique to us. Everybody's seen the same formula being done in these studio films. Not to say that there's no market for that. I have been inspired by all that, as has Harindu and Raja. I'm pretty sure they'll agree with me, and we continue to be inspired. But we can also, there's an audience that's waiting to see something different, something from a different part of the world. So the time is ripe to give them that.
Yeah, brilliant. I think Raju just lost electricity or something.
I think Rajiv just lost power. He's jumping back on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so we'll just give
Havinder,
him a couple
probably,
of minutes.
yeah, probably until
No,
Raju
so
joins.
yeah, I'll just add to what Akash was saying a bit. Like, now, the other thing, like when we take Hollywood, when we take like the European markets, because obviously, it has been, for some reason, it's here over here, it's presented as something, people talk about Hollywood like it's on another galaxy, and it's very hard to reach. It's really not, right? It's closer than you think. It's a matter of understanding the craft to a level where you have the knowledge to sort of uh, take the stories you have, the films you want to make, to them, and collaborate with them and make great films. I think that's one of the biggest things that Sri Lanka, uh, Sri Lanka have been missing, because uh, that part of education, how to actually uh, get your films out there into the global market, get your concepts out there into the global market, that has been largely missing from the local curriculums for some reason, for the longest time. And that's one of the key things that we are also trying to change through programs like this. And yeah, Rajiv is back on, I think.
Of course, it has to happen to me in the middle. power cut in the middle of all this technology. Sorry, I'm back.
So
Oh yeah,
Rajiv,
the
we were
question.
asking the question that as Sri Lanka, why basically are we talking about international filmmaking right now? Is it a new thing, or is this something that we have done earlier? Why international filmmaking now?
Yes, I think, I mean, Harindu and Akash also covered so much with it. I think in the sense of you kind of have to first ask the question why you want to be a filmmaker. And I think there are a lot of filmmakers who are actually quite happy with, doing the local for local route, which is completely fine and super great as well. But I think if you do really want to, um, we make films for audiences, right? And if you really want to kind of expand that aspect of it and also get people to really see into the country, not just as we've had
I think we lost Rajiv for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Am I stuck?
Uh,
Am I not stuck?
No.
Gosh,
He's back.
what
He's back.
is this is
it's
gonna be
stuck.
good. Where did I get lost? um, up to
You
where?
may, Rajiv, probably start from the beginning if it's okay.
Okay. Cool. Anyways, long story short, we make movies for audiences, and I think in terms of the reach, um, you kind of have to like in terms of our history, like we've had Lester James Pearce who's gone to Cannes, we had Vimukti who has gone to Cannes. It's not that it's international in terms of our cinema has been a new thing. Obviously, it's been much harder, but I think now in terms of the world with where technology is at, with obviously there's a big conversation around AI. There's an oversaturation of everything that we can easily get drowned and just kind of be local for local. I think a big part of understanding the international aspect is the growth for us as storytellers. Otherwise, everyone is going to just constantly look at Sri Lanka as that war-torn, developing country, etc., etc., etc. We're either going to be just a location to come and shoot for free or cheap. I think there's so much more than that. I think us as filmmakers also want more for our country and want more for ourselves like that. So I think that's why it's important to learn what works in an international space, because it's one thing to tell our stories, but sometimes you do have to understand what festivals are looking for, what audiences abroad are looking for in order to shape our stories to match what they are able to receive. Because it's one thing to tell a story a certain way, and I think as filmmakers you do have to have a very strong signature, but I think you also have to understand the international audience to know, okay, if I want to tell a story about bullying, if I want to tell a story about a sort of domestic situation, if I want to tell a story about an uplifting biopic of an entrepreneur who was an underdog and made it, we have those stories as well. You kind of have to understand where you're going, and I think that's why a big part of the success comes from playing the game that way and understanding what works, and therefore branching out, making connections. I think for us, the three of us, Akash, myself, if I may speak, is none of us come from a nepotism situation. Like none of us have family in the industry who open the door for us. You know what I mean? And it's been a lot of road to kind of get to this point in our careers. And I think that's why we're excited to be able to open this up, is because that's kind of how it works. Is if one person opens a door, then we all kind of go through together. And I think that's why it's super important to understand the international landscape for us to be able to go forward.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rajiv. There are a few questions coming in, but audience, please feel free to put your questions on the chat. We'll quickly come to the questions on the chat. I think it's kind of the right time, Harindu, Akash, and Rajiv, to talk a little bit on how we have lined up this upcoming International Filmmaking Accelerator program. And basically, it's quite a program that you guys have put through. So, Harindu, probably you can take the lead here. Let me quickly share my screen to summarize so that it can help you to take the discussion. If you could quickly, if you could take us through what this program is about in a short, Harindu. You're on mute, Harindu.
Sorry guys. So International Filmmaker Accelerator, the vision behind it was we wanted to do something completely different to what we already have in Sri Lanka, which because we have right now we have enough programs where you can go and learn how to write film, shoot a film, how production works, how to act. But with this, we wanted to cover an area that was missing from the local curriculums for the longest time, that is how to actually get yourself out there into the global market. And one of the key things is that people don't really understand how the market works, uh, how to actually read the market, and how to sort of position the stuff that you already have uh, in a way that it can potentially get acquired in that global market. So if you go down to the modules that, so we are running this program, we have 8 modules. So starting with film development. So development is one of the key areas in film production that we barely do in Sri Lanka. If you talk to 10 filmmakers, at least maybe one or two would have done like proper development on their film. Again, the reason that we don't have development happening in Sri Lanka is because we don't have a producer class in Sri Lanka. Because as you all know, uh, producer goes to whoever who finances the film. So you are not the filmmakers here in Sri Lanka don't have the luxury of uh, getting feedback from the producer, talking to a producer about the vision they have, and sort of when you prepare to take your vision to the market, there's nobody who's there to sort of protect your vision, at the same time kind of help you integrate your vision concept into the market in a way that it would work. So development is one of the key areas that we are going to be covering. And then we have screenwriting, obviously. So this, rather than teaching you like the basics of screenwriting, we are starting from the basics. You get to learn like the key things what you need for screenwriting, but we are going to focus a bit more on when you write scripts, the standards that you have to maintain when you write a screenplay for a international studio or a producer, or how to basically write a screenplay at that global standard. Then we have film directing side of things, which Akash should be covering, and he'll talk a bit more. Then the visual side as well when it comes to storyboarding. So the for the areas that I'm covering, I'm doing development, I'm doing international film business, say sales, distribution, and festival strategy, which is another thing that we don't have in our local curriculums. How to actually understand the festivals, what the difference between the festivals, and how to actually position your films correctly onto the festival markets. Then we have pitching to the markets, film aesthetics, which Rajiv will be covering along with screenwriting, and he'll be also covering scheduling and budgeting. That's one of the key things that you need, when you put together your initial package and prepare yourself to go in front of, can be an international producer, but not just international, but even locally. You need to know how to properly budget and schedule your films. If not, you are going to have a very tough time, because if you don't properly budget it, you could go in front of a financier, and sometimes you could lowball yourself, and when you actually start to make your film happen, you are going to end up having less money, or you are gonna upsell your film, and from early on some financiers are going to drop off because the rates are too high. So one of the two things that those two things are the most common in Sri Lanka. So we try to cover how to properly sort of read your film, schedule it, and budget it in a way where you know how to get the numbers in correctly and have prepare your financially, how to sort of prepare your film. So those are the core areas. I'll let Akash and Rajiv talk a bit more about their areas, the areas that they'll be covering. Yeah, over to you guys.
Uh, I'll be taking over the directorial voice and genre strategy and the visual translation and storyboarding aspects of this particular program. So, like Harinder said, the whole goal, the overall goal with a program like this is to take a project with the end and develop it with the end goal of taking it out into the international market. Now, in order to do that, what are like you need to have the end goal in mind. So not just from the producer, there's multiple aspects that you have to look at. Like it's show business after all. You need to make a good film, yes, but at the same time, it has to land somewhere where it will be commercially viable. So even if you have like a great idea, there's a lot of testing that's involved. So even if you like think of it in a way where you have a business idea, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's show business. So your idea has to work within a market. How do you test not just from like from a producer standpoint, but also from a director, screenwriter standpoint? Does your idea really work? And what genre category does it fall into? And is the market ripe for, is your genre of choice currently in fashion, or is it not? Or if even if it's not, how do you work around it? Do you splice certain genres together and make it a commercially viable project? There's a lot of things that as a director that you will need to look into. Like something that I've noticed is a lot of directors go on set, but they're not 100% prepared. So how do you prepare to create a project like this? Because before anybody, the screenwriter and the director, they need to see the project in their mind's eye. Everything is created twice, first in somebody's head and then in reality. So if you go on set without a proper shot list, proper storyboard, proper visual references, that's a guaranteed plan to fail. And I'm not saying, yeah, sure, you probably might be able to go ahead and do like an avant-garde movie, and yes, it might work. But if you are creating something that has a very specific look that you're going for, then there's so many conversations that you'll need to have with your cast and crew. How do you direct the crew and also the cast ahead of the project, ahead of going on set? Because an analogy that I always use is it's like the 100-meter race in the Olympics. Usain Bolt will like probably run for like 9.5 whatever seconds, but there's like years and years and years of training that go into the span of those 10 seconds. It's that creative aspect that happens during the development and pre-production stage that most directors tend to overlook. And this is what we will be focusing mostly on in this program. How do you ensure that all the creative work is done, translated properly, ensure that it will translate properly once you go on to set? Because once you go on to set, as Harinder and Rajiv, you are constantly solving a lot of problems, and not necessarily creative problems, mostly logistical. You're going to have to deal with weather, maybe an actor's getting late. There's a lot of problems that you're going to have to fix on set. So how do you navigate those ahead of time? How do you ensure that your project, the one that you're creating shot by shot, will translate and fit this market that you are trying to reach out to? That's what essentially we will cover in these two modules. Rajiv, over to you.
Thank you. I think I will be covering more also the sort of producing side of things in terms of production logistics as well as budgeting and scheduling. And also I think all three of us will kind of be covering this, but also in terms of preparing what your pitch and your lookbook and your sizzle reel and all that stuff is going to look like. Because as Harindu said and Akash also touched on, like how you package your film. You basically, if you think of marketing, right? If you look at if you want a Coca-Cola, you're gonna go and buy Coca-Cola. You're gonna go and buy something that like so like it. Basically, the film aspect of it also works in the same way. Like how you present your film to whoever you're presenting it to is how they're gonna receive it, and it's gonna define whether they buy the Coke or they don't buy the Coke. So that's to kind of cover that. But what I'm most excited about to kind of go through with everyone, and this is what one of my favorite subjects when I was doing my master's was the film aesthetics and the cinematic identity part of it all. And I think that the reason excites me is because it's basically how to enhance your voice and your signature as a filmmaker. So it kind of combines what you want to tell and how you want to tell it, and then also what works in the certain film festivals or with certain international audiences and putting those two together. So, so sorry. Oh, I thought somebody had a question. Um, so basically, for the most part,
Sorry, Rajiv. Just sorry to interject. Your voice is a little low. I'm not sure if it's an issue from my
can you
end.
hear me now better?
Yeah, better.
Okay, cool. I like projects like a theater. But what I'm most excited about is basically going through the film aesthetics and cinematic identity part of the course, which is combining your voice as a filmmaker and what's working internationally and at certain festivals, depending on where you're looking at. Films fall under one of three or more, depending on the film schools or aesthetic schools. Realism, formalism, and naturalism, and we'll learn more about all of that in those modules. And basically, you kind of get to figure out and decide what side of filmmaker you want to be and what you're more drawn to. If you watch any movie, you're drawn to them for certain reasons. You watch certain movies and they do really well with audiences, and some movies just clearly do very bad with audiences. Those are, uh, because of those film aesthetics and like what makes them that. So learning more about it, learning more about how to better inform your story from start to finish, and then putting it all together from producing aspect is what I will be covering.
Fantastic. I'm going to sort of ask, I don't know whether I should ask it or not, but I'm going to anyway try it, Harindu. I'm pretty sure putting three of you together, you have invested a lot of time and money and resources to actually grab these sort of things. As Akash said, multiple years of investment to bring this 4 months of work. And whoever is going to do this, they are going to, go through this treasure. But can you tell us, Harindu, Akash, Rajiv, from your experience, how much effort, money, time, and your life has gone to get all these sort of things? What type of work experience you had to go through to design this sort of a thing? I'm pretty curious on this.
I think all our conversations, like Harindu, Rajiv, it's like every waking moment has been something to do with film, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
For the last
I
10 years, like
mean,
at least.
It's what I think of when I get up. It's what I think of when I go.
that's a
Exactly.
short answer, to be honest. Like, you need to have that passion, sort of, because obviously, for us as Sri Lankans, getting onto that, Hollywood scale, it may seem like a dream for, even for me. Like, I had, like, when I was growing up, like, w- I've always had the passion. I've loved film from a very young age. My father was a huge cinephile, but you know, even with that, like, I had no clue. Like, Hollywood almost felt like a dream that we couldn't really, uh, you know, uh, achieve at that age, because always wanted to do it, didn't know how to do it. We didn't have ways to sort of learn about it, read about it, study about it, while in Sri Lanka, especially when we were growing up at the uh, when I was like 14, 15. That's why one of the reasons I went into software engineering for my bachelor's. My bachelor's is, funny enough, in software engineering. I didn't work a day in the industry, but yeah. So one of the reasons why I ended up in a completely different sort of sector. But then as I got older, I got, especially during COVID, when all these uh everybody was home, and the industry was more freed up, and a lot of people were coming online talking about the opportunities, and how to sort of we I think that during that time we had quite a lot of information available to actually plan ahead after, like, when this whole pandemic is over, where we can actually get ourselves to. Then that's when I made the switch into, like, properly made the switch into film. That was, I think, year 2021. Yeah, I mean, like Akash and Rajiv said, it's every waking moment talking about. I don't. highly doubt I've ever given Akash a call and talked about anything else other than film. Like, we've known each other since what, 2017, 16?
16, 17, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
yeah.
even know where you live.
Yeah, over to you guys.
Yeah, Akash and Raju, probably you can talk about your experience in getting this knowledge, because most of there are a few questions also lining up of where to start, how to get this knowledge. I know we are doing this program which is starting in 1 month, but if there is somebody who's like to go through the program that you went through, a longer path, not this short program, what would you advise them?
I would say that if you want to climb a mountain, there is no one pathway up the mountain. Like there's so many ways that you can get to the top, obviously. But like for me, it was mostly uh, like very much like Karindu said. I joined a bachelor's in computing with something called interactive media, which I didn't use since I graduated. We had some programming modules, but I was very curious about the video production module. It was that one design module that I was that made me take on the course, and I was like, there was no other filmmaking program back in the country. That was around 2012ish, at least not in English. So I joined that program, and then we started making short films by ourselves, learning with the resources. The one resource that we had, which was the University of YouTube. So that's where most of the knowledge accumulation started from, and then putting that into practice with the teammates that we picked up along the way. So it's been a process of trial and error. It's a much longer process, but you understand the mechanics of actually putting together a film with a shoestring budget, with the resources that you have. And sometimes it's those limitations, it's because of those limitations that you have that you end up creating what you create, whether it's good or bad. But that the takeaway from it is that you learn so much, and you need to apply that knowledge onto the next project. So it's not just, oh, you do one then move on to the other and to the other without any direction. It's a conscious decision that you kind of make to take on the knowledge and of the mistakes that you made and the things that you did right, and do better on the next one and the next one. So focusing on a few things on a short project helps. That means that you try to do it right as opposed to trying to get everything right in one. So doing short films with your friends, I mean, I don't, if you can afford film school, great. If you can't, start by picking up a camera, and everybody has a studio in their pockets now. Filmmaking has gotten democratized. You have access to knowledge. Any topic on anything is available on the internet. You have your smartphone, you can shoot, you can edit, and you can release it through this. So it's all democratized, and you have the tools that are needed to just make movies. It's there. And for anybody saying, yeah, whatever you make on a smartphone is not good enough, Steven Soderbergh's released how many films, Rajiv Harindu, now on that he shot on an iPhone? If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for everybody. So there's so many ways. But yeah, you learn by doing. At least that was my experience.
Akash, there's a question for you in the chat, which is interesting. I really want to see it.
What is that?
Um, somebody's asked you
Can
specifically
you
about your
share
experience.
experience on the night out? Oh, the night out. This was 6 years ago. Night. Which part of my experience do I speak? Because there's a lot of things I can talk about. But I will start by saying that it is the most fun that I've had on a project in terms of doing something action which is very close to my heart, but at the same time trying to see how we could localize a concept like chess itself. So to start off with, the initial idea was to just what do you call it, make a cool fight scene that we could choreograph to a particular beat. The chess, all that stuff came in much, much later. But as with all things, as with any idea, one thing leads to another and it starts snowballing. And by this time, I think I had done uh, 3 or 4 short films and accumulated a good team that helped me create the aesthetic of the night out. It was about, once the chess thingy came in, we were like, how do we differentiate between scenes, between how do you transition back and forth between the chess game that's taking place inside the cafe, and how do the moves on the chessboard translate to a fight choreography that happens in their minds. So it was a very, very fun project, I would say. This was 6 years ago. So if there's anything very specific that you want me to talk about, I'm more than happy to. Is there anything? Oh, the cinematography and the
Cinema.
editing. So everything was planned meticulously. Every single shot 2 months ahead of shooting. So once we had nailed down the choreography, which Dilshan and I had been practicing for the better part of a month, I got my cinematographer Kasun to come in and do a rough shoot. So then I was like, oh, this angle doesn't work. That one works. Maybe this move can't, you can't capture it this way. It's very practical in a street fight, but it's not that cinematic. So that's where we learned, oh, okay, this needs some modification. So if we had just tried to choreograph it and then gone on set and try to do it, that would mean we would have to figure it out there. But the fact that we did a lot of prep and rehearsals, including camera tests, made it so much easier to shoot there because we started getting injured on set because we were shooting in a metal factory and there were tiny metal filings on that massive chessboard. And if there's a BTS video somewhere up online, not on our channel, but you can go check it out. By the end of it, I'm limping. I'm like limping. It's like 2 nights in a row we had to do the choreography. I was limping. So I didn't have to worry about the choreography and the cinematography because we had done that homework ahead of time. And the editing was, that I would say we took around since we were in the middle of the pandemic, we took around 3 months just to chop it up, and that went through multiple iterations as well because we didn't really have a soundtrack at that point. We were using a metronome. A metronome is like a particular beat. It goes at a specific BPM. That's what we choreographed it to. And then there was this Black Eyed Peas soundtrack called "Let's Get It Started," and we realized that the choreography fit exactly to that. So if you overlay "Let's Get It Started" by Black Eyed Peas onto the choreography of Night Out, you'll notice that it fits perfectly. And then we were like, okay, you know what? We need to reach out to some artist and see if he can create a soundtrack that blends uh, the local the local flavor with something that's contemporary, and we found iClown back then. So it was a back and forth. I had to I think the day before we released it as well, we were just still editing, and the day of the release was when I rendered it finally. I was like, I'm done with this, I need to release it. So yeah, that's my experience in a nutshell.
Really good. I have one eye on the clock. There's a
Uh,
question.
shall we
Yeah,
go through the questions actually?
yeah.
Because
I'm actually
there
going
were
to the
quite a
first
few
question.
questions.
I can see the first question, which is related to this, is about the short film and the short film festivals. Somebody says they are interested in short film festivals and how to enter these short films and film festivals. Anyhow, I know, Harindo, we are talking a lot on film festivals in the program, but can you give like a
Hmm.
quick buzz on short films and festivals?
Yeah, so what festivals are generally, they're a platform. It's a platform for filmmakers to actually showcase their films, and at the same time, it's a platform for the sales agents and the distributors to actually acquire potential films and potentially push them to the market. So, uh, choosing the right festival is key thing, anybody can, easiest way I can tell you, if you are interested in, putting yourself up, getting yourself into a festival, is there's a website called Film Freeway. You can go on Film Freeway, look at the festivals that are active right now, and blindly submit. But then there's the more strategic part, where you actually have a festival strategy. We plan out what sort of festival works best depending on the outcome you need with your film. So that's one of the key areas that we are going to be covering in the program as well. So it's not a easy question to answer, like, uh, you know on a program like this, I can't just tell you, okay, these festivals are the good ones, these are the bad ones. May So the best way, because now how we've actually modeled this program is also, you can come to us with your own project. So whenever we are teaching, most of the things that we teach and the examples we give will be based on your own projects as well. So you have the opportunity to actually dive deeper into the festival markets and distribution strategies, and sort of how to uh, get your film correct into the correct festivals. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you have the opportunity coming up with the program.
Yeah. So there's another question about what programs are available. If there's any new folks who joined a bit late, we talked about a upcoming program, which is a 4-month program, which covers 8 pillars of film industry. I just pasted a link. Just go there, see the thing. If you are interested, join back, share it, and you will see a lot. There is another question, Harindu. I'll ask it anyway. They're asking why Sri Lankan movies are not looking and feeling cinematic.
I
What's your
think
thought?
I'm gonna hand that over to Akash. He's the best person to answer that question.
The controversial stuff, just handing it over. Okay, fine. Rajiv, shall we share that? Because I might get some backlash.
Go for it.
I again I can only speak for the mistakes that I've made and the things that I've seen. And what I feel is like, look, if you shoot something without the necessary prep, without lighting your scene properly, without the proper, taking a look at the color palette, where the production design, the costume, the makeup, all of that stuff is not in alignment with the vision that you want, and then in post production you try and you go and tell your colorist, I want the John Wick film, the grade, then there's not much that they can do because they don't have enough data in the pixels to work with. So it's a lot of, again, it's prep. Like if you want your frame to look like something out of John Wick, or like a Spielberg movie, or a Nolan movie, or a Michael Bay movie, like whoever, Yorgos Lanthimos, whoever, there's a lot of prep that goes into every single frame that they do. Everything from the production design to the costume to the lighting to the lens choice, even the camera that they use. These are conscious decisions. It's not like, oh, we have a V Raptor, let's just shoot with it. No, why are we shooting on a V Raptor? There's a reason behind it, and why are we using the lenses that we are using? Are we going to go with spherical lenses? Are we going to use anamorphic? Why are we using these lenses? And then the makeup itself. If you take a look at Michael Bay's movies, you don't see the actors. It's not a matte look that they have. It's quite a greasy look, and that's again intentional. The lighting. What kind of lights are you going to use? If you want like your character to have if I take a John Wick film as an example, there's a lot of club scenes and you got to get a lot of neon lighting. So if you don't have that lighting on set, you can't ask for it in post production. That's a lot of work. In you can't fix it in post if it was not there on set. It's a lot. It's hard. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think there's a lot of homework that needs to be done ahead of time. A lot of preparation. And what do you call, every setup on a film set takes time. They adjust. I mean, Rajiv, you've seen how they work on studio movies. Harindu, y'all have seen how it works out. It's a lot of time and dedication to the craft. Everybody knows what they are gonna do when they go on set. They already have an idea. They have a plan. They know how many shots they're gonna get per day. They know what the lighting setup's gonna be, who's doing the costumes, what costumes they're using this day. Are we gonna use haze to kind of add some depth to the room? There's a lot that goes into making a picture feel cinematic. So it's not just one thing. And I feel like with Sri Lankan movies, the prep work is what is lacking, and not for the lack of, it's not that we can't. It's just that sometimes we get a little too complacent because it's such a small industry. And if one person's not doing it, and the people who are working on your film are like, අරුන් කරන්නෙත් නෑ වයි ඕක කොච්චර කරන්නේ වයි ඔච්චර මහන්සියක් දරන්නේ, and everyone's like, okay, shape. We're not here to do shape work. We're trying to reach that. I don't want to use the word Hollywood. I'm trying to say the reason we named this International Filmmaker Accelerator is because internationally, across the board, whether it's in Hollywood, Bollywood, or like the 30 film industries within India itself, Hong Kong, Korea, there's a look that they achieve, that quote unquote cinematic look. So there's a lot of homework that goes into preparing a shot like that. Anything to add to that, Rajiv? You want to share the repercussions with me?
No, absolutely. Literally, you hit the nail completely on the head. It's definitely a lot of work. And Harindo also kind of touched on this in terms of so much of filmmaking, which a lot of people don't know is actually a lot of boring stuff. A movie can be in pre-production for years, but that's where it needs to be, because you have to get all of this work down. Sometimes you're storyboarding 100 times because something's not working. So you go and you refix it. Then once you fix the storyboard, then like, okay, what is our color palette? So there are some films, so for example, Marvel uses this thing called color scripts, where they literally look at what the entire color of the film is going to look like from start to finish. And if there is something that is leaning too heavy in one aspect and can be monotonous, or it's not fitting the world building that they're doing, then they go back and then they so they would change an entire set because the color of that set does not match what the color script they want, etc., etc. So this was one I wanted to kind of tie this into a really great question, because I want to tie it into the previous question asked in terms of like film festivals and this and all that stuff as well. Is you also really do have to ask yourself why you want to be a filmmaker, because so much of the work that goes into it is not the fun stuff that you see in the BTS. That's definitely there. That's all a bonus, but there's a lot of meeting, there's a lot of call, there's a lot of rejection, there's a lot of replanning, there's a lot of reshooting, there's a lot of redoing so many things. Honestly, also by the time you come to the end of your film, you've seen it through so many different processes, and you've also watched it probably 100 different times. You're kind of bored with it, and that's fine, because the movie is not for you, it's for your audience, right? It's for the film festival you're sending it to, it's for the people who are going to watch it. So you kind of have to remove yourself from the filmmaking process, and that also really does help, because then you plan it objectively. You don't plan it with your own like, I want it to look like this, and you can want all the things you want, but then when you get into those meetings, you're gonna find out some of these things don't work. So you can't shoot this because it doesn't make sense to the next scene that you're going to go into, etc., etc., etc. So that planning that Akash is talking about, and the intention of why you want to be a filmmaker, is very important. The way the film industry works, I was very fortunate to have film school, and a big part of it was also both my undergrad and grad. I was very fortunate to have fellowships. If not, it is quite expensive. But again, if it's the route you want to go, you really have to think about it and really plan for it. But it's also, like Akash said, and Harindu also, I think, touched on, it's not the only route. The way the film industry works is networking. And the way networking works is you can't just walk into a room and be like, I want to be a filmmaker. It's like, okay, what do you want to talk about? Like, oh, I want to tell Sri Lankan stories that look like Michael Bay and like kind of shows. It's like, okay, cool, but why? You have to be able to answer those questions. You have to be able to talk about work that you're currently working on. Like I'm working on a script that, kind of draws inspiration from Hirokazu Koreeda, that talks about, the plight plight of young children who don't have an educational opportunity in these rural villages that I visited. Like, you have to be able to like sell that passion and that story. You can't just walk in and be like, I want to be a filmmaker and I get into film festivals. Like, you're not going to get a room that way. And people, the way networking works in the film industry, again, is that planning that Akash was talking about with putting the film together. Like, people get excited for people who are coming in with like a plan and a vision and passion. Like, it's unfortunately, and I'm just going to be flat out honest, it is kind of a bit of a turn off when some people are like, I want to do this, and like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to back it up with why you want to be a filmmaker, what stories you want to tell, your visual signature. And I think that's what's really great about this program that we're putting together, is all those things that we kind of had to learn either on the fly or with tough love from big industry representatives and crews. We're kind of bringing all of that knowledge together and being able to be like, hey, if you want to package a film and be able to stand in a room and have a conversation with Steven Spielberg, or have a conversation with, you know, blanking on producers' names. You know what I mean? Like, how do you have those conversations? What planning goes into it, and what is your intention? So I hope that helps.
Thank you, Raju. Raju, I want to ask another question. I know the passion that has gone with you into cinematography, but for the people who are starting, when you have a particular idea, you just mentioned of the importance of having passion and idea. When you have an idea, how do you really translate that idea into a screenplay? I know it's a long process, but can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, and I'm sure Akash and Harindu can talk about their processes as well, because everyone's going to have a different process. Something I've learned about myself is I don't really dive head into a project until I've seen the entire thing. One of the big things we learned about in our screenwriting class is you write a story backwards. You have to know where it's going to end. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a 15 episode miniseries with a 40-minute per episode, 10 seasons, because you don't know how to go from point A to point Z. So you basically have to know your ending first, and then you move backwards. That's typically like a one-on-one on screenwriting. So small little teaser for everybody on the call. But for me, for me personally, unless I've seen the whole film in terms of how I want to tell it, what style of aesthetic school, whether it's another director, whether it's my own sort of thoughts behind camera movement, casting, location. I think for me, still what I would like to either call development or pre-production. I think that is, and like, don't be afraid to sit with the project for that long. Like, give it the time it needs to grow. Once you see the whole thing. So for example, the two short films I mean, I've worked on several short films, but for me that have come from my own sort of brain, my brainchild, and my own heart, have been Pavements, which I did in 2018, which is where I met Akash. He came for the screening. And then now more recently Good Boy. Like, those two films, I saw the entire thing, and I think that was what really helped. Was like, I had this specific vision of how everything was going to go, where it was going to end, what the stories were, what the themes were, all that fun stuff. There are several projects I have in a bank that are not there yet, so that's why they're in a bank. And something like a song, or something like a painting, or something like a conversation with a friend. More recently, I was going to. I don't know. I thought I was going to text the two of you all about this, but I more recently finished another script for a short film that I would love to do this year, just as like a fun thing to just keep creating. Another thing is keep creating, everyone. But I was going in a took, and the guy started talking to me, and he said a couple of things that just really stuck, and I was just like, oh, this is what this thing needs. So like, it could be drawing inspiration from anywhere on anything. Start working on those projects. Even though they're in limbo, you don't have to finish one to go into the other one. Have that bank. You don't know where the inspiration to finish one will come from, and then once you see the whole thing, then you kind of take off from there.
Brilliant. All right, Akash, Rajiv, and Arvind, I'm going to put you into a bit of a trouble. If you can give just one advice to aspiring filmmakers in Sri Lanka today, what would be that one thing? I know you have a lot of things to say. Just one thing. What would you say?
Mm, I mean, I would say never, never, never ever give up on your dreams. Because I think if I had done that, because I personally, because I know it's the same for Akash and Rajiv as well, but uh, I always wanted to be in film. But honestly, I think you like, but when I actually got the chance to get into film, I was in my mid 20s. Because I had almost given up. If that one thing kind of sparked and gave me the opportunity to actually You know, there's a whole story behind it, like how I ended up in the UK, how I got selected to this program, and how I managed to get myself into the global market. But obviously we don't have the time for it right now. But just hold on to your dream. It might not happen right away. For me, certainly it didn't happen right away. It took me what, 25, 26 years to get there, but it'll eventually happen. Like, work hard for it, work towards it. Obviously, as filmmakers, especially in Sri Lanka, you can't just sustain by doing films, so you have to do other things, and you have to satisfy your parents, and sort of fit into this 9 to 5 kind of structure, to what is socially accepted. But while doing that, keep working on your craft, keep working on your ideas, get the knowledge you can from wherever it's available. Everybody doesn't have the luxury to go into a film school. And 2026, if you really look at the film schools, I mean, if I honestly, like, I doubt if I'd actually pay for film school right now. Looking at the prices, like, it's super expensive prices. And again, like, when film schools, there are enough film schools in the world, but it's very hard to get to a film school that you can actually benefit from, other than learning the stuff, because a lot of things come. It's not just the theater, the theory that you learn, but when you go to the film school, the connections you make, the people who teach you, all these people sort of add up to what where you are going to end up in the industry. So yeah, uh hold on to your dreams tight and keep working for it.
Fantastic. Akash, stage is yours.
I think Harindu pretty much covered the whole thing, so I don't have much to add. I would just say uh, you're gonna have to develop thick skin for every aspect of filmmaking because, uh, like Harindu said, it's not an easy task first of all, and it's even harder because we live in Sri Lanka. The tools that we have are, yes, developing, and it's becoming to a point where everybody has access to them, but there are social pressures. There's quite a lot of things to balance out, but then there's also the problem of things falling apart. It may be somebody who promised to give you X amount of money to do this movie bails out. Maybe you're trying to shoot this in July and it starts raining. There's a lot of problems that are going to come your way, and then say you make this movie with the the greatest difficulty, you're done, and now you have to put, that's just half the battle. You're going to have to put this in front of an audience, and the audience can sometimes be very ruthless. They might just tear your thing apart. Maybe your friends will say "Ella macham maru," but then the strangers that I mean, I've had to face this firsthand. They can sometimes tear apart the thing that you spent months or even years creating, and that you're very protective of that. And as artists, you are almost always in a vulnerable position because you're very attached to this. So you need to develop thick skin to take uh, criticism, and not everything's going to be constructive. Balancing a day job while doing filmmaking is also a pretty tough task. So you need to develop thick skin to manage to balance both of that out. But and at the same time, I would say you develop something called resilience if you keep holding on to what you want to do. Like Karin said, just don't let go of it. And with that thick skin comes this quality called resilience, where you don't take no for an answer, and you try to find a different path. If the path that you are on to on your way to the top of the mountain doesn't work, you switch to a different path. You start seeing multiple opportunities. You start seeing the connections in through the network that you've built, and you are able to leverage help, favors, and figure out a way to the top of the mountain. At least that's my experience. Rajiv, what you got to say?
Yeah, I think definitely both of you all hit the nail on the head. One thing is definitely drink lots of water. I just thought of this because I just got a glass of water. I'm so thirsty. Hydrate. But also, I think to add to Akash's point in terms of like a supportive counter is don't, biggest thing that I tell everyone that I personally feel really did actually help me get to where I am, because it's just how my brain works, is don't let the fear of perfection stop you from creating. I think we're in a day and age where there's an oversaturation of content. And I think also with AI, we talked about that aspect a lot as well. And like that's a huge conversation in the film industry. But I think comparison is the death of it all, when you feel like, oh, I'm just, this script is not good enough. Or like, oh, okay, whatever, whatever. Like, shoot it. You don't have to show it if you don't want. Like, my first ever film I shot in 2013, I still have it on a hard disk somewhere. It will never see the light of day. But I'm so glad I did it, because I learned so much. I learned so much about scheduling, because it was still with my friends and some cousins and whatever. But like on the understanding of like, hey, we need to shoot these 2 scenes today, and these people are here. In the understanding of costuming and planning for that, like so many things come and teach you within that process of creating, that even though the whole idea is to not win an Oscar with your first short film, it's to lead up to the one that will probably get you into a really good film festival or get you into the room that you want to get to. A big part of it for me was getting it into, film school, but also which led to Marvel. I think a lot of my film school background had so much to play in it, that it was, again, film school. And to Harindu's point, it's not really the only and actually the best way to get through it, because film school just provides a great networking environment. Like I said, the film industry is all about networking. So film school is just a fast track to get into certain networks. And that also, some film schools don't have proper networking. So like you go there and then you just learn something you can learn from YouTube, and don't have any networks or connections that can get you anywhere. Fortunately for me, a big part of it was Chapman, because these people were actively working still in the industry. So I was blessed that way. But I think a big part of it is, we feel like we need to make like something that is like already as good as whatever. And if you look at some of the best films, that you can still find flaws with those as well, right? Nothing is perfect there either. So there's never this idea of perfection when it comes to it. And that alone stops so many people from just making their first one. Like, go and shoot something and put it together and see how it works, then you learn from that, and then you create the next one. And then I guarantee you, in the next like a year or two, now with the tools and the information that we have, like you will be making really great short films or films. So just create.
Brilliant. Brilliant. What a set of thoughts. Again, I see a little pattern emerging from some of the questions. People are asking about whether there are any platforms to get advice and feedback on the work that they have done, some of the films that they have done, and how to get out of the writer's block. These are all going to be covered in the program. And also, one important thing about the program that we are discussing is we are going to personally help your ideas. So when you are trying to apply for the program, we are asking you to bring about a concept that you are working on. That's one of the key thing, because we want to help you. So this is not just going to be, these folks coming and teaching you how to do, but we are going to work with you to work on the projects that you are working on. So if you have specific work that you are focusing on, please do write about it. All the IP and the legal aspects and everything, we will be covering that. We will respect your creativity and also the IP that you own, but we will be helping you to move on the ladder. I will probably take one last question, because I think it will be important. Harindu, probably you can help me who would answer this about the writer's block. Most people say, as Rajiv said, they want to start it, but I got this writer's block. How to get out of this? I know we have gone out of the time, but probably if you can take 1 or 2 minutes. Rajiv, Akash.
Writer's
The
block.
question is how to, yeah.
Rajiv, you wanna start?
Sure. I think, from again, like to my point of coming up with and how I kind of go through a story and where the idea takes off. I think with writer's block, I think the myth about it is that it stops the work that you're doing. I think if you like, everyone starts with an idea. It's, whether it's a premise, whether it's a concept, whether it's a what if question. And I think it's really good to write those ideas down. But that doesn't also necessarily mean that you're potentially going to have the entire idea there. Sometimes people do. Sometimes people have the entire story just like that, and they write the whole thing. Sometimes people have, a character that they really like in mind, and they want to do something around that character. I think don't think of writer's block as just like something that is like, this is it, the dead end for the project. I think a lot of writer's block also, like for me personally, at least, has stemmed from dealing with stress and dealing with mental health aspects and dealing with just life around, like you start something. And I think one time I had done a project and I had worked and I was so excited, and I saw a film that was coming out the next year that was the exact same idea, and I was like, well, okay, cool. But like I still developed the project for the sake of developing it, even though it was already done. I was not going to shoot it, but I think just the practice of writing. So sometimes you have to just trust yourself also with where you're going, and then kind of see either what inspires you to take it further, or whether it's not the right time to finish that story, and that time might come another time. Another great thing is networking, and I think a big part of me is I'm so grateful for my film community, Akash and Harindu included, where I can just be like, hey, I have this script idea, or I have this idea, and it's either done or not done, and I can just like shoot it across to them, and like they will bring in a whole completely different perspective that I might have missed out on. So like also trusting that you might not know 100% of everything that you're working on, like sure you have the idea, but if you're steeping it in certain things, like talking to, like it doesn't have to be a writer or a filmmaker. If it's to do with the, if you want to talk about the army, or if you want to talk about doctors, like, go and talk to a doctor or go and talk to someone in the army. Like they don't have to be filmmakers, but they bring such a fresh perspective to that story that you're trying to tell. So kind of just seeing workarounds that get you to where you want to get.
That's very true.
Perfect.
The only thing that I would add to that is like what has worked for me in terms of writer's block. Just get off your ass, go for a walk. Sometimes just a change in perspective, moving your body around, just it helps. And ideas tend to come in the most unlikely of places, which Harindu and I both know when we worked on Temporal. I think we both got our best ideas on the toilet. It just happens, man. It just downloads from somewhere. It shit happens. So I
Funny
think
enough,
that's
I think, yeah, because I remember the ending for Temporal when, how it ends. When we were figuring it out, we were on a call. I still remember it. I was frying an egg, right? Kasun was, I think he was in a factory or somewhere. He was doing some random thing,
yeah.
and it came to us in like the weirdest place of all, because it's like that, you can never just, because we sat down, we talked for hours on how to actually end Temporal, how the ending's gonna happen, and it came to us in like, it never came to us during any of our development meetings. And funny enough, it came to us when we were doing completely different things, but we were still on a call trying to figure it out. So yeah.
Fantastic.
That's. I'm just gonna address a question that has been listening to me. I mentioned spherical and anamorphic lenses. We will be talking about those as well. So spherical lenses are the most common lenses that you'll find, which have circular aperture. They give a taller aspect ratio, whereas anamorphic has a shallower depth of field, yields a more cinematic image. More the aperture is kind of compressed, gives you a wider field of vision. And also, somebody had a question about doing a YouTube channel. I don't exactly understand what he's asking, but I will say this: yes, YouTube has generated quite a lot of filmmakers, and movies like Backrooms, Obsession, right? Yeah, those the two movies that are doing fantastically well right now in the market were both made by people who got their start off by making films and chucking it up on YouTube, because it's a perfect testing ground to one thing, show your talent, and also to receive feedback. And how you filter that out is entirely up to you, but it's a good testing ground for your skill and for you to also show your work to people, and you never know who's going to contact you once they see your work. So that's another way that you can network. You don't necessarily have to go to film festivals. You can put it up on Vimeo, YouTube, TikTok, if you're doing vertical dramas, if that's your thing. That's apparently a new thingy that's happening. I don't know, but yeah, get it in front of an audience. It's always good, and you never know what opportunities each platform comes up with. So yes, put your stuff up there, get it seen by an audience. And also, yes, there is a Young Filmmakers Association in Sri Lanka. If people want to, go there, put your short films up. The best thing is just put it up on your socials and get feedback from your circles. And if it's good, they'll share it. Ask them to share it, and then you can kind of track where your short film goes to. Even if people don't necessarily leave comments, they might reshare. You can still track all of that. So again, just post it out. Ask for feedback. Ask for specific feedback if you want it. But yes, places like this, it's again good to start off with what do you call Facebook groups.
To add to Akash's thing on the Young Filmmakers Association, what's been really great about it is also there are other filmmakers on there. So if you're even like looking for crew for your own short film or casting, and you're like, hey, I'm in need of an editor, I'm in need of a DOP, I'm in need for an actress aged, whatever to play this role. That community is also great to connect with. And like, I know I've gotten a couple of people who've helped on a certain few stuff from there as well. So like that community is great as well to tap into.
Rajiv, what's your opinion on alleged Illuminati symbolism in cinema? That's
Saw
a
that
legit
question and I was like, oh my gosh, how do we answer that? Interesting. Interesting.
No comment.
All right, folks, thanks. I've just pasted a little quick link if you are interested on learning more on filmmaking, international filmmaking, as well as there's a comment on creating a WhatsApp group and sending future updates. We will invite you, all of you, plus there are a few other people who are joining online. A quick nudge on WhatsApp group where you can get more information of the upcoming program details, some hints, some nudges, some helpful guides from Ajay, Akash, and Haridu. Also, I have pasted the mobile phone number of the hotline. If there's any quick questions, WhatsApp us or directly call us. We can get some of the questions immediately closed up. And please do check the link. It has a lot of details. It has a very detailed booklet which talks about most of the things we just discussed. The booklet is pretty, it's pretty loaded. You can quickly check on that. And yeah, I think we can wind up here. It's a short break, but probably by the lot of questions, Haridu, maybe we'll need to do one more session before the actual program starts. We'll look into that. There's few other questions coming up also. But for tonight, thank you very much, Akash, Rajiv, and Haridu for making it up. And thank you everybody who is joining on the Zoom call and the people who are joining online. And if you are watching this on the recorded this session, please go through the program and go through the link, and please let us know your comments and do register to the program. The program will start on July end, and this is a very limited number of seats because we are going to give you one-to-one attention. Imagine getting one-to-one attention on your work by Rajiv, Akash, and Harindu. So we want to make it pretty limited. Not many seats are available. Start filling out the registration forms and get in touch with us. We'll be more than able to welcome you and help you in your personal projects as well. Again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. Have a pleasant rest of the week. See you again. Thanks, Rajiv, Akash, Harindu.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.